You know, it's a classic story. A truly genius, world-changing medical idea comes along, but then it runs smack into a massive, almost impossible problem. That's exactly what we're digging into today, that incredible challenge of turning a breakthrough into a reality that can actually help people. All right, I want you to just imagine this for a second. What if it was you? You're the one who discovered a technology that could genuinely change medicine forever, something that could actually repair and regenerate human tissue. But, and here's the catch, you have absolutely no way to get it to the millions of people who need it most. That huge gap, that chasm between a great idea and a real-world solution, that's the exact problem we're going to unpack. And this brings us to our case study, A Genius Idea's Big Problem. It's all about an innovative Swedish company with some revolutionary stem cell technology that is facing a truly massive global hurdle. So what's at the heart of this story? It's something called mesenchymal stem cells, or MSCs for short. The easiest way to think of them is like the body's own personal repair crew, with this incredible potential to regenerate tissue. Now, the company we're talking about had developed this uniquely powerful, super high-quality version, which gave them a huge scientific advantage. And this is the core of their dilemma, right here. On one side, you have this incredible proprietary MSC technology. Fantastic. But on the other side, a whole lot of nothing. No global infrastructure, zero regulatory expertise for worldwide markets, no way to actually get it to patients. It's the classic case of brilliant science hitting a massive business. So what's the solution here? Well, you find a partner. But, and this is a big but, not just any partner. This is where the real strategy has to begin. You have to define the perfect partner. Because, let's be honest, before you can go out and find them, you have to know exactly who you're looking for. And they got super specific, creating a really detailed wish list. The ideal partner, for starters, had to already be interested in cell therapy. They needed deep pockets, because late-stage development costs a fortune, and they needed established relationships in healthcare. But maybe most important of all, they needed a shared vision, and this is critical, all that global market access and regulatory know-how that the company was missing. So, with the what totally defined, it was time for the how. I mean, how do you systematically search the entire globe for this perfect match without just getting lost in all the noise? They did it with a 4-point investigation, and let me tell you, it's pretty clever. What's so smart about this is how they took a completely overwhelming task and broke it down. First, they did a market assessment just to see who was even playing in this space. Second, they did deep dives into those specific companies to see what they were really capable of. Third, a portfolio assessment to see if their technology would even be a good fit. And finally, a deal assessment to check their track record. They were essentially asking, do these guys actually do deals like this? And this systematic process led them to the most exciting part of the whole journey, finding the top candidates. This is that moment where the strategy starts turning this huge abstract problem into a handful of real, tangible opportunities. And you really have to appreciate the scale of this. They weren't just looking at the usual suspects. The search started by analyzing the entire global biotech and pharmaceutical ecosystem. I mean, that is a truly massive undertaking. So how did they filter that enormous list down? With a really smart matrix analysis. They took the top 20 or so companies and scored them on key things like strategic fit and market presence. It's a powerful way to visually separate the real contenders from the rest and figure out who lands in that crucial target category. So after all that global searching, that deep analysis, and all that filtering, it came down to this, 4 to 5. That's it, a short, highly prioritized list of the best potential partners. They had successfully gone from a world of possibilities to a handful of the right possibilities. And that brings us to the final result of all this work, the blueprint for partnership. This is where all of that research and uncertainty gets transformed into a clear, actionable plan for success. You know, this quote really sums up the whole project perfectly, transforming an overwhelming partner identification challenge into a focused, prioritized engagement strategy. That's it right there. It's all about creating absolute clarity out of overwhelming complexity. So, what did this elite group of companies all have in common? Well, they were all already active in regenerative medicine. They all had a strategic need for this exact technology, like it would fill a gap in their own plans. They had a proven history of successful partnerships, the right global footprint, and, of course, the financial muscle to see it all the way to the finish line. And the ultimate result of all this, the Swedish company wasn't just left with a fancy report, not at all. They had direct meetings set up with these highly qualified partners. They finally had a clear, tangible path to getting their world-changing technology out to the market. And this whole thing leaves us with a really powerful thought to end on. This entire journey was about building a bridge between a brilliant idea and the perfect partner. And it really makes you wonder, how many other great ideas are out there right now, just one partnership away from changing the world?